Hello, my lovely listeners. A little bit of encouraging talk for Sunday. I have been walking today, as always, and I was talking to myself of I'm not really sure where these words come from. Is it like a stream of consciousness? But they seem to have to want to come out, so I thought I have to record the podcast today. And what I was talking about to myself, so that I thought I would just pass it on to you, was first of all why I have this podcast. And I was thinking or saying that if you have ever this podcast is for anyone who has ever lost something. So it could be relationship, it could be some possessions, it could be job. For anyone who find themselves sad or who find themselves just thinking that's not all there is, or for anyone who live their life as they always do but feel like they have a grind of sand or a pebble in the shoe. You can live with that, but it's just bothering you every now and then, and the longer you are walking with this, the more you want to find out what it is. And although you are fine overall, there is something that maybe makes you feel that unfilled. So for anyone like this and sort of thinking, I am in this alone, it's just me, I am making things up, and no one is like this, it's just a word out there to the world to say that you are not alone, that a lot of people go through things like this, and a lot of people feel like that. And it's about how you make a sense of this, and sometimes how you feel it through, and sometimes how you logically explain to yourself. And the logic could be about if that's happening to so many people, and if that's not only happening to me, then it's more possible that that's fine, that's fine, not that's something valid, because that's the collective human experience. So it's not only my experience, I am not in this alone, it's a collective human experience. And a lot of people don't have words to talk about this, and a lot of people don't know how to talk about things that are happening in a way that other people can understand them. And I very often feel like this as well, that when I talk about it's, to me, it's not deep. To me, it's just like everyday life, talking about emotions, about feelings, about how I see things. And it might be something something simple, but I take it and there is a quintessence of life in it. And people are feeling uncomfortable sometimes. I can see this uncomfortableness when I talk about it, and when I go too deep. And obviously there is a term of small talk. So small talk about, oh, what's the weather today? It looks like it's sunny. So it doesn't mean that every conversation has to be that deep, but we only have, let's say, 100 years on this earth, right? That means that we have 100 summers, and that we have 100 winters, and we have this amount of people to meet around us, and it's not going to last forever. So I believe that every conversation we are having, or maybe not every, but a lot of conversations that we are having is worth to make them worthwhile, to try and see the other person on the other side. And what I wanted to say was a couple of things. First of all is, when I was walking the other day, when I was walking in London, and it was beautiful days. This week is just so beautiful. I was talking last week on last episode about the energy, very hard energy, kind of the planets retrograding, Venus and Mars and Mercury. Sorry, I don't know if Mars, but Mercury and Venus definitely. I just broke my favorite matcha ball. It was my favorite one, and I think it's because of that. Mercury is still retrograding, but the planets, I think, feels like it's just easing up a little bit. They are on the last leg of retrograde, and it just feels like energy shifted for some reason yesterday and today. And on Friday I was walking down the canal, and the sun was shining so beautifully, and there was quite a few people walking as well, and I was just all of a sudden I just thought, I'm gonna find things, or not, I thought, it just came to me, I'm gonna find things that make me happy. And the first of the things was when I was walking down, and the sun was glistening on the water, and the reflections of the water were mirrored on the wall of the tunnel, a brick tunnel, a bridge that I was walking under, and it was just so beautiful, like a painting, and just those fleeting moments of happiness. And then another thing was there was a guy, and he was owner of the boat. There's lots of boats on the canal, and he had a man bun, and it just looked so innocent, and it just looked so, I don't know, so pure. Man bun is a guy with longer hair and just puts them in a bun, and he's just such an element of humanity. And then all of a sudden there was this girl, or a woman, but very young woman, dressed as a Red Riding Hood, with a red hat and a red dress, and was just walking there with her friend. And it was just a really happy view. It was like coming back to the childhood memories, and on a kind of grown-up woman, but the smile she had she was just so happy, just having this outfit on. And there was many moments like this in little plants and little flowers that are blooming in this early spring, and just lots and lots of happy moments. So I really invite you to, once you start recognizing those moments, once you start sort of seeing and looking for them, more and more of those things will come. And how people smile, and how different languages they speak, and how sun reflects on the water, and the water is just golden, this kind of white sunny reflections. I love that on the canal, and I love that on the water. And the ducks with their fluffy feathers just being so happy in the warmth of the sun. I just love this walk. And it's just the happy moments of after so many days of kind of a bit of a gloomy, and a bit of a waking up with a little bit of a panic, or yes, just, I know that the life is like a sinusoid, so it's going to be always up and down for us to appreciate the ups and hope when we are in downs, because we know that another up is coming, and I know it's always coming. So and sometimes it takes a little bit of will to believe in that, and it's faith also. I spoke last time about hope. It's also faith, the faith that you have, the faith in yourself, the faith in the universe. There's so many talks about how our consciousness creates our reality. And so many people talk about this. So many people, it's like on the social media, the more you click on something, the more of this will come to you. So when you click on a certain content, this content will come to you. So if it's fashion, I was looking at teeth at some point, and so many teeth are coming to me, teeth content. So it's not a coincidence. So if the artificial intelligence, because that's what it's built on, if the artificial intelligence works like this, consciousness works the same way, because artificial intelligence is a sort of consciousness. So that's just another proof for me that that's how it works. That's why what I was saying is, when you look for things to make you happy, these will come to you. Like for me, for example, there was on my walk, there was a lady with a pregnant lady, and her tummy was really bare, so she wasn't wearing any clothing over this tummy. And I thought, that should make me happy. That's such a natural kind of human thing to be. And for some reason, it didn't make me happy. I mean, I felt neutral. I felt more like, please cover the baby. That's how I was. And whatever you think about this, and then I was kind of judging myself, thinking, why do I think this way? Like, this should make me happy. That's what I'm talking about. It's not that what you think would make you happy is what actually really truly make you happy. You look at this, you feel it. It could be smell, it could be just a feeling, and you find it. It's almost like an intuition. It's almost like, this shouldn't make me happy, or this should make me happy. It's none of that. It's just you feel inside yourself, and you trust, and you look for this nudge. Is like a little ray of sunshine that you can find, and I'm sure you can. Maybe not every day, but you can. So yes, this tummy of this lady didn't necessarily make me happy, but that's completely personal. It's nothing to do with anyone else or no judging. It's just, that's what I mean. It's just whatever works, whatever sparks yourself. And so that was one walk. And then yesterday was another walk, because I went on the countryside. I love that. There's a post actually on my Instagram from there if you wanted to see. And walked down the canals again, but just another part of UK, kind of outside London and Surrey. And I was thinking again, I am so grateful that I found something that I love. And I found it later on in life. I didn't really, or it basically came to me, or I changed. But I'm so happy. And I was walking, and I was thinking, because there was a part of the walk where you could have finished, but you didn't have to. You could walk further. And when I got to this part of walk, I was thinking, I wish there was more. I wanna go more, and I could. And when I went on another part of the walk, I was extremely surprised by the views and just everything around me. And I went to the place I've never been before, or I thought that wasn't that great, but it turned out really amazing. So this walk yesterday, first of all, I was passing by church, and I was I don't know, I don't think it was Catholic church. It definitely wasn't. But sorry, it wasn't Christian, it was Catholic, but I don't remember. Anyway, there was a board there, and little post notes. I think they were in shape of heart, but maybe I'm mistaken. And you could put a little note there, and like a text note, and you could say what you would like everyone in the community to pray about or for. And what came to me, and I rely on the stream of consciousness, like with the podcast. I just say what comes to my mind. Obviously I thought about it before, but I just say it with not much sort of preparation. But the same with the note. What came from for me was thank you, and I thanked for the things in life that I'm really grateful for. And then at the end I put a plead. So I was asking about something, and I don't really, I know what I was asking for. I was asking to, or actually I keep it to myself. I keep it to myself. I also believe that some of the things that you want, you don't have to always share with everyone, and especially maybe not share it outside with so wide or wider audience. But maybe if I feel like this, I will share. But anyway, I put a little ask there, and I was really grateful. And that's another thing, and I always say about that. And I also one of my podcast episodes is also about being grateful, because this helps you recognize things in your life that you have, and they kind of became so normal that you don't even look at them, that you don't even pay attention to them. And it helps you to shift attention from what you don't have and actually focus and concentrate on things that you do have. And this then leads to looking at your options, because you wake up or you think you have no options whatsoever. But then if you start from looking at things that you have, it's then easier way to look into the options. I really truly believe that as well. I was thinking about lots and lots of things. One thing I also did on the walk was doing something kind of not against myself, but harder that I usually would do. So there was a detour on the walk and said you can walk up and see this tower. So I was like, okay, well, maybe yes, maybe no, but just so it happens, I turn right instead of going kind of straight, so I was on the way to see this tower anyway. So I was like, okay, if my legs took me there, I might as well. But oh my god, the tower was, as all the Princess towers are, on the hill. So it was a hard walk up the hill that I didn't kind of anticipate. I didn't know I was going to take. And by the time I walk up the hill, I was really tired, and then there was a tower on top of the hill, apparently 19th century tower. It was really interesting because it was round, and it really looked like something that Fiona from Shrek would be on top of. So kind of funny, interesting. And obviously there was no people there whatsoever, and all of a sudden from behind of the tower comes a big gray white wolf. And I was just like, this is like in fairy tale. So I didn't even have time to kind of flick. Obviously there was not wolf, there was just a big husky dog with its owner, with this lovely lady, and we smiled to each other. But when the big silver white wolf came from the other side of the tower, I didn't even flinch. Because everything, when you walk for a long time and there is not that many people on your walk, your senses kind of, you go almost on a different level, and everything becomes a little bit magical. That's what happens to me. So when you are on this level, when you see a big wolf or like a magical creature, it becomes a part of everything else that's happening around you. I mean, when I walk, I see, for example, pheasants. Pheasants are not very much, they're obviously not in the city. You don't see pheasants at all. And I made pheasants my magical creatures. So I always think whenever I see a pheasant, that means I will have amazing luck. And so be it. So I've seen at least 4 pheasants yesterday. So I'm really counting, and I think I already do have this luck. So when you are walking and you are by yourself, everything becomes, yes, really magical. At least it becomes for me. And I would like to ask anyone else who walks like this and for hours with no other people, really, how are they feeling with themselves? Like, do they feel this magic? And that would be one of my deep questions. And I might not be understood by the people. And that's what I mean by, I am trying to, and I like to ask questions about things like this. And sometimes, or very often, I am not understood. And obviously, I live in a society, I live in a 3D. So I know, I understand. I know that not everyone is ready for that. And I know that there is a place and time to ask questions like this. But nevertheless, I do ask them. That would be a really good question. And I have, for example, my mom, she goes on walks, that I wouldn't really ask her this type of question because I know she won't understand. Would I speak to about this? Yes. Do they already think in my family that I am a little bit cuckoo? Yes, they do. So what? I really don't care. And I think they also see that I bring something else to the family dynamics. I am a bit of a breath of fresh air, even though they don't fully understand me. And I was always told that I live on a ninth cloud or a little bit in the La La Land, which whatever is just an opinion of someone who lives a different life, or maybe doesn't have access to those levels of consciousness or mindset, or maybe they do, they just don't know how to speak about this, or maybe they are afraid. I don't know. I just fully and truly am immersed in magic. Although when I was walking yesterday, I kind of couldn't turn off 100%. I was there, but also I wasn't. So almost as if I was, now and I'm thinking astral traveling, but I was more astral traveling in my kind of looking at my issues and trying different approaches, and also seeing the countryside and my desire to live there, to live within the nature, and also thinking how it would be. The funny thing is that there was lots of manor houses there, beautiful gardens, beautiful households, beautiful homes, stately homes, just mesmerizing, beautifully made. But it's like I said with the dog, there was no real life in there. So they all seemed like they were, like there was no people there. So I would think in the sunny day like that on Saturday, kind of midday or early afternoon, you know, there would be people in the gardens, unless those stately homes were really the gardens were on the other side and you wouldn't hear anything. And maybe it's just because I live in a city, I am used to humans sort of laughter and noises and everything, and the quietness of like something like seems like there's no humans there. And actually a funny thing about the countryside and my desire of living there, and I always had this desire, well, always, since I remember, since I kind of stopped being young adolescent and you know, not putting such a focus on the entertainment, so to say, that the city gives you. I was having some confrontation, unfortunately, with some people who are frying or grilling meat outside the home, outside our building, and the smoke from the grilling is quite bad. So anyway, I confronted them, and I just said that the fire was too big, and the person who was minding the grill, he was just shouting or saying very loudly, saying to me, move to the countryside, which I was thinking was really funny, and a funny way of how universe is showing and is shouting at me almost that. And yes, I just find it quite amusing, but also I am getting the message. It's not a solution to the grill or barbecue being burned outside with just an open grill on the street almost every day, and it's not a solution to kind of confront someone on this way. And I am sometimes it just I am a human as well, so sometimes it just comes out like this. And I wish this business all the best, and I wish that they open an amazing shop that will bring them loads and loads of money, because they definitely deserve that. And the fact that I don't like the smoke is you know, that's what happens. And I think I believe that with awakening, and that's what happened to me with the awakening. So with the awakening, there is something like higher senses. They come, not higher, the senses higher as well, but my senses, so smell, taste, also vision, they get quite strong. So my sense of smell is quite strong. I can smell almost everything. I smell, and I go out of my house and I smell. Every time I come back, I smell something else, and I'm like, what's that smell? What's that smell? And I like clean smells. I almost stop using perfumes because somehow I cannot. I still use them every now and then, and obviously I prefer pleasant smells to not pleasant smells, but I like fresh and clean smells. And living in a city is not always the case. So this definitely, and I'm not. I don't even know if I am like cleaner. Possibly, yes, probably. I watch out to what I eat. I mainly eat vegetables, and I very rarely take takeouts. I'm just trying to think like do's and don'ts. I just eat very intuitively. Vegetables and water and so on and so forth, and I don't really smoke, or again, I drink very moderately. I do like glass or two of wine, but nothing what I used to do before. And it kind of came naturally. If I really wanted to drink, and sometimes I am like, I really wanted to have a drink today. If I really want to drink, I would drink. So I know what works with me. I am not about no, you cannot do this, because as soon as someone say no, you cannot not do this, very often I'm like, actually I really want to do that. So I've always been like this, and there's no hard no's. So yeah, I don't know if you recognize yourself in any of these. I'm just sharing this, just if you do, or as if maybe it's a little bit funny, or maybe it's a little bit entertaining, but that's how I am. And just and one last thing about how, coming back to what I was talking in the beginning, why do I speak, what is my podcast about, why do I talk, who do I talk to, who I think or I would want or would like my audience to be. So everyone who's lost something, who are kind of feeling that they are looking for something else, who are wanting to hear someone else to talk about their emotions and how to go through these emotions, and want to be encouraged, and themselves, they want to pass on something good to people, something that they think that will might help people. I am not saying I'm gonna heal you, but if I can help you, if I can make you smile, if I can give you a little bit of encouragement, if I can tell you over and over and over and 100 times you are enough and you are courageous and you are worthy, then that's fine. And talking about this, I was on a walk today. Surprise, surprise. I was on a walk, but the going back part of my walk, because I got some plants and they were quite heavy, I was taking a bus, and this was the first bus, so it was like bus stop that where the bus starts its journey. And I got on the bus, and there was a lady on the bus, a bus driver, and I wanted to say that my main face expressions is usually smile. And it's not like a full smile, like a crazy person. It's just a light smile. I think I smile to my mind. I think I smile to my thoughts. I smile about because I had those plants and because they were heavy, and one of them was kind of slowly dropping on my trousers, and I was smiling about how I put them on my balcony and how happy my cats are going to be when they see those plants. So I was kind of smiling. I was smiling when I got on the bus. And I think maybe because of this, I would like to think that because of this, but maybe hopefully also the lady bus driver had a really good day. And she just said hello or whatever, good afternoon or something like that. And I, with a really big smile, said, oh, hello. I was really, usually you say hello to the drivers, but when the bus is really busy and people go in a line, you don't really even kind of look at the driver. And this time, because I was the first one, I really said really nice hello and smiled to her, my best smile with all the teeth, and she did the same, and I sat down and I felt so nice. And then we were driving. I think it was just me and another person on the bus, and obviously the bus driver. And then we were driving, coming out to the next stop, but in between those two stops, the bus kind of stopped on the red light, and there was a guy on the pavement, and obviously he was running to catch the bus, but there was no way. Once the lights changed, the bus would go, and that's it. But the lady started sort of talking to the guy, and she let him in on the bus. And what did he say? He said, "You made my day." And I felt the sparkle, the joy, the kindness passing from my hello, from her hello to me, from my hello to her, and then passing on to the guy. And it was such a beautiful moment, because I had it in my vision, I had it in front of me, how the kindness is passed on from person to person, how the joy and the beautiful feelings and the beautiful moments are passed on. So it was like a validation of what I am doing on this podcast and what I would want to do in life. And obviously it's not, and then there was another validation. Then some other people came in, and it started to be very crowded, and there was not enough space. And then this guy came in, and I was sitting with all my flowers and plants, and he wanted to get to, and he was walking to the back, and all these kids were sitting at the back, and he said, "May I please have a seat?" And then one lady said, don't you see that there are kids sitting here?" And I let him have my seat anyway. And I thought, oh, it's such a shame that the kids are taught sort of rules like this, that they are more important. And the guy said to me, "Oh, thank you very much, my back hurts." And I thought, also judging me because I confronted the barbecue people, also judging me of a lot of humanity is there, but some of them are not there yet. And and I understand that, you know, kids are unruly, and also they are small, so it's hard for them to kind of hold on to the rails. But another human being, we should always see another human being. We should always just see past everything else and look into their eyes and really see them. And we and me myself as well should go past tiredness and sometimes annoyance and things like this, and just look at another human beings, because the more of us who holds the high frequency, the more of us who holds the joy, the better the world will be. And I really believe in that, and I am really trying to be like this and to spread this joy. And I know my own frequency is going through my imminent environment as well, and is spreading on other people. It's the same way as I can feel other people's energy. Yes, so that's what I wanted to say today, and hopefully at least it made you happy, at least it made you smile, what I was talking about. And I speak to you very soon. Bye bye.